It turns out that true attractiveness isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes it is quiet, consistent, and earned through your character. Today we're going to talk about something that most men probably don't hear enough, and that is, you might be way more attractive than you even give yourself credit for. A lot of guys out there, especially the humble and self-aware ones, don't realize the impact they have. You might think that you're just invisible or maybe even below average. But from a woman's perspective, you could be showing signs that you're much more desirable than you even know. So, let's get into 7 clear signs that you are way more attractive than you realize. And I'll be sharing these from a woman's perspective, so you can get a more honest take on what we really notice. Alright, let's dive into the first sign. Listen carefully because this one might surprise you. Okay, number 1, you make people a little bit nervous. This one might seem counterintuitive at first, but if you've ever noticed a woman fidgeting when you're around, that's a sign. Or maybe she starts stumbling over her words when talking to you. She might start playing with her hair or adjusting her clothes. Perhaps a room full of people suddenly gets quiet when you walk in. It is not always a coincidence. Attracted people, especially men who carry themselves well, can throw people off a little bit. This doesn't mean that you are intimidating in a bad way, not at all. It just means that your presence might trigger someone's nerves in a good way. You might give off an energy of confidence, or maybe it's an aura of mystery, or it could just be a calm, grounding energy. That kind of presence can disrupt people's usual comfort zone. Think about it. Women usually don't get nervous around guys that they're not attracted to, but when a guy shows up looking sharp, that changes things. When he's speaking well and articulating his thoughts, we notice. And when he carries himself with that quiet confidence, that's the key. That is when women start to adjust their body language without even realizing it. So, if you've ever thought to yourself, why do people act a little weird around me sometimes? That could be one of the best signs that you are more attractive than you think. Now, I also want to say, of course, there's nuance here. Maybe you're making people feel some kind of way in a bad way. So make sure you stick around till the end to see how many little boxes you check off here. Okay, on to the next point. Trait number 2, you're frequently complimented, even on very small things. Let me say this, and let me say this clearly. See, women don't just hand out compliments for fun. When a woman tells you something like, "You always smell good," that's a big deal. Or if she says, "I love your voice," or even something like, "You're so calming to be around," that means something, it really does. These little compliments are actually big signals. This is especially true if they're consistent, and if they come from different people, not just one person. You don't need to be a male model in order to be attractive. Smelling good is incredibly powerful. Having a relaxed voice can be very soothing. A natural, genuine laugh is infectious, and a calm energy can be more attractive than anything else. A lot of guys totally underestimate the power of these subtle traits. They underestimate the little things that you do that stand out in a good way. Women notice these things, believe me. We notice even if we don't always say them out loud. So when we do actually compliment you, it's usually for a reason. It's because we are already attracted to you and we're trying to connect with you. And if a woman compliments your shoes, well, you are really doing something right. Sometimes it's the smallest details that make the biggest impact. If you want an easy way to upgrade your summer style, just start with your shoes. Seriously, shoes are one of the first things that women notice. The right pair can completely transform how put together you look. So basically, it is about the details. Let's move on. Trait number 3, strangers ask you for help or directions. Now this one can sound a little bit random, I know, but it is surprisingly pretty telling. If people, and not just women, but strangers in general, often approach you, maybe they ask for directions, or they ask for help with something like reaching an item on a high shelf, or maybe they just want to chat or make small talk while in public. It means you're probably giving off a certain kind of energy. That energy is approachable and calm. It's an energy that feels trustworthy, which is really rare these days. And here's the thing, those qualities are extremely attractive to women. Even if they're not necessarily the most flashy or loud qualities, we don't just go for the guy who is loud and aggressive. Actually, we usually stay away from that guy. We're drawn to the man who feels grounded. A man who feels like someone who could be a protector or a leader, someone who is calm under pressure, or just someone who is really easy to be around. So if you're the guy who people naturally gravitate towards in public, not because you're seeking attention, but because you simply feel safe and solid, that is one of the clearest signs that you have got quiet magnetic appeal. Are you with me so far? Let's get to the 4th sign. Trait number 4, women assume that you're taken. This one can actually work against you sometimes, but it's still a strong indicator. If women are surprised when you say that you're single, or if they just automatically assume that you're in a relationship, it's usually because you have the aura of a guy who is confident. You seem put together and stable. All good things. All boyfriend or even husband material things. Attractive men often seem like they must be taken for one key reason. It's because they don't give off desperation. You're not chasing anyone or anything. You're not constantly trying to impress people. You just seem content and self-assured. That makes women assume that some lucky lady has already scooped you up. It's a subtle compliment really, but unfortunately it can also be why some women don't make a move. They might think you are out of their reach or already committed. So if you get that reaction often, you're single, Really? Understand it for what it really is. It's a clear signal that you check a lot of the right boxes. Okay, halfway through, here's number 5. Grade number 5. People remember you easily. If people remember you after meeting you just one time, that's a big deal. Even if you didn't really say much at all, it means that you left a lasting impression. And attractive people, in all senses of the word, tend to do that. This doesn't mean you have to be loud or the life of the party. In fact, some of the most attractive men are the ones who speak less. They just have a really strong, undeniable presence. Maybe it's the way that you dress, or the way that you carry yourself with purpose. Or maybe it's just your calm, unshakable confidence. Something about you just sticks in their mind. Maybe it's the way that you listen, truly listened to someone. You made that person feel heard and seen. From a woman's perspective, when a guy is memorable, it's significant. It often means he brought something different to the equation. Maybe you were polite when no one else was. Maybe you made sincere eye contact. Maybe you just listened better than other guys, as I mentioned before. Whatever the reason is, being memorable is a sign of value, and we notice it, even if we don't always say so. Alright, let's keep going. This next one is subtle but very important. Trait number 6. You don't get chased, but you get chosen. A lot of guys think that if women aren't actively chasing them, they must not be that attractive. But the truth is, attractive men rarely get chased in those obvious ways. Instead, women position themselves to just sort of be around you. We will initiate small talk. We might ask you for help, as we discussed earlier. We'll compliment your shirt or your watch. We will sit near you in a public space, or we'll just find reasons, any reason, to interact with you. Women are way more strategic than you might think. And if we're doing these things around you, there's a purpose. We're hoping that you will notice and sort of start taking the lead. So if you've ever wondered, why do women keep starting conversations with me? Or why does that girl always randomly show up where I am? I'm not talking about in a stalker creepy way, okay? Just making that clear. It's a sign that she sees you as someone worth choosing. Someone with presence, with value, and something that other guys just don't have. Okay, the final point. Listen carefully because you are going to know if this is you. Trait number 7. You're hard on yourself, but other people look up to you. Attractive men often have no idea how attractive they are. Why? Because they're too focused on just being better. They don't rest on their looks or past achievements. They focus on their character, their integrity. They focus on their goals and their future. They focus on their mindset and their personal growth. They are just constantly trying to be better every single day. But here's the twist in the story. When other people, whether it be coworkers or your friends or strangers or women, when they look up to you, that's a huge signal. When they seek out your advice or they ask for your opinion on important matters, that shows that you carry a level of respect and presence that is deeply attractive. People look up to you, they admire you, they actually want to hear what you have to say. Remember, women aren't just drawn to physical traits. We are drawn to leadership. We are drawn to genuine confidence. And we are drawn to men who know who they are and where they're going. If people rely on you or seek your guidance, you are already ahead of most men. You are winning, even if you can't see it yourself. So basically, it is all connected. Attractiveness isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, consistent, and earned. And those are the men that women respect the most. So, if any of those 7 signs sounded familiar to you, take it as your reminder. You don't need to look like a movie star to be attractive. You don't need to be the loudest guy in the room. Women notice the way that you carry yourself. We notice the way that you listen. We notice the way that you show up in the world, and we notice how you feel about yourself. And trust me, if you're doing the things I talked about in this video, you are way more attractive than you realize. And you need to start treating yourself like you are. So if this video resonated with you, I'd really appreciate your support. Be sure to give it a thumbs up to let me know. And subscribe for more content like this from a woman's perspective. Now I have a question for you. Have you experienced any of these signs without necessarily realizing what they meant at the time? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts down below. And hopefully your story can help some other guys out as well. Let's start encouraging each other in the comments. Let's be kind and uplift one another. I always love a gem of a video where the comments are as positive as the content. If you have more questions you want me to answer, ask me in the comments and I will try to make a new video to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more insights. See you in the next one.